Alrighty, hello. It's Thursday, March 31st. Going through the Bible again this morning. Thought I might have something that would interest people. As humans in general, we're flawed. We do a lot of bad things, say a lot of bad things. And I think some people say, how can I start following God when my life is so messed up? I'm such a bad person. He's not going to want a person like me. Just a little bit of insight. I don't want anybody to think if their intentions in their mind are to try to follow Christ or go to church that their flaws should prevent them, because the only way to gain righteousness is through Christ. I mean, it's a path that you're obviously going to start out, and then eventually through prayer and more church and following God and His Word and what He wants you to do, you're going to drop off these bad traits you didn't want to have. Paul's one of the apostles. Paul is the biggest author in the Bible. The man is a genius, and basically in Philippians chapter 3 verse 5, he starts talking about his story and how he was a pure-blooded citizen. He was a member of the Pharisee who demanded the strictest obedience to the Jewish law. Paul was actually a member of the religious order back in the day of Christ, and the problem with that was they had the right idea of things and what they were doing, but a lot of it went against what the Lord wanted them to do. They did a lot of throwing people who were following Christ in jail, killing people who were following Christ, and saying things like, oh, well, our list of laws says you have to do this, but you're doing what Jesus says. This is totally wrong. So Paul was a murderer. He was against the people of Jesus and what they were trying to do. He was the exact opposite of what he was after Christ came to him on the road of Damascus. And basically that's what happened. Paul was this guy who was against everything, and he was a murderer. And Christ came to him one day, and he said, to sum it up, I'm not trying to butcher it, but Christ said, Paul, you're ridiculous. What are you doing? You're doing everything against my will and command. And Paul said, who are you? Why are you telling me these things? He said, I'm Jesus Christ. He said, now go and change your ways and basically make disciples of the world. And Paul also goes to say later in chapter 3 that I don't mean to say I have already achieved these things or that I have already reached perfection, but I press on to possess the perfection for which Christ Jesus first possessed me. No, dear brothers and sisters, I have not achieved it, but I focus on this one thing, forgetting the past and looking forward to what lies ahead. Paul's saying, I strive to be what Christ wants me to be. Paul was still a great person, so obviously he's completely humble to say he wasn't there yet. But as people, we've got to do the same thing, I mean, yeah, we shouldn't be running around in churches, supposedly being saved, doing a bunch of crazy stuff, but this comes with time. I'm not going to sit here and I don't want to act like I know more than anybody, or I'm the master of knowledge, because I'm far from it. But I try to read a lot, and learn a lot, and yeah, read the Bible a lot, pray a lot. So I've just got a tiny bit of things I could share. I still have a lot of faults, I've still got things I need to work on, and it's only going to get better with me praying and striving to be a better person. But people who want to do something better, what I'm trying to say is, don't ever let your flaws keep you from Jesus Christ, because He's the only one who's going to be able to take you out of all this garbage. I'm going to butcher this, but the gist of what I'm trying to say is legit. Somebody once said, Christ is looking for imperfect people, average people, to do huge, great things through His Word. He's looking for average, normal people to do unimaginable things. He's looking for people like me and you. Is the basics of this. Peace.